I decided to take some time out from airbrushing the parts for my steam engine to show you my airbrushing setup. The entire area is surrounded by bath curtains, which prevent any of the spray from getting into the rest of the shop, especially the metal shop and the electronics shop. These are easily retracted when not in use. The paint that I use is typically oil-based enamel. I use Valspar tractor and implement paint along with Rust-Oleum. This has to be diluted to be used in the airbrush, and I put the diluted paint into these tiny bottles. To dilute the paint, I spoon out a tablespoon of paint exactly into one of the bottles, and then add 2 or 3 tablespoons of paint thinner to thin it down. This is a little thin, but for the lower pressure that I use, this is what is necessary for the airbrush to operate properly. I also keep a spray bottle of mineral spirits available and a couple of other bottles of clean and dirty mineral spirits for cleanup and other purposes. You can also see some of the steam engine parts that have already been airbrushed here. Now, the air supply for the airbrush comes from a large compressor, which passes through a filtration system that takes out any water and any dirt, and also regulates the pressure very closely, within a couple pounds per square inch. I typically use 20 pounds per square inch because anything higher tends to blow some of the work off of the work table. So I have to use a low pressure. The airbrush that I use is a Pash VL. This is a very versatile and very common airbrush, and I highly recommend this particular brush. In order to put paint into the airbrush, we have to put it into these little metal cups. They are small, but they hold a surprising amount of paint, and you can airbrush for quite a long time with just one of these. To fill them, I simply take a metal teaspoon and spoon the paint out of the jars and into the cup. If the paint gets low, I just spoon some more into the cup. The cups are very easy to clean, and the result is I use very little paint thinner for cleanup and so on. It's surprising how little paint thinner I have to use for all the work that I do. The work is mounted on a turntable, and this allows me to turn the work as I airbrush it. This is the frame or base of the steam engine, and I can turn the work as I airbrush it, hitting every nook and cranny. It works just great for me. One of the most unique aspects of this setup is the air system. This was in the house when we purchased the house, and it's one of the reasons I bought the house. A large inverted water tub, galvanized, is hung from the ceiling and attached to a downspout pipe. The pipe from the wash tub runs across the ceiling of the shop to a hole in the wall where it passes through. After passing through the hole in the wall, the downspout runs along that wall to the outside wall of the house, where an ancient vacuum cleaner is mounted on a shelf, and the vacuum cleaner exhausts the air out through the side of the house. Quite ingenious. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and I have to go and get back to work. Take care, and I'll be showing you the finished parts when they're all done. Bye-bye.